Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, gender fluids and non-binaries, even members of the Jaguar design and marketing team, welcome to the channel. Here we go, it's the beginning of a new year. It's the time of the year when good YouTubers do a retrospective. They look back at all the things they've done in the previous year and provide you with some roundups and some summaries and maybe even some predictions for the new year. Well, I'm not just your average YouTuber. I've been doing this for nearly 20 years. That's right. It was 2006 when I uploaded my first video to YouTube. And a few years after that, I joined the YouTube Partner Program and YouTube became my full-time gig. Yeah, so during the last nearly 20 years, apparently according to YouTube, I've uploaded over 2,500 videos. And I now have, between my two channels, almost 500,000 subscribers and over 140 million views on my videos. So I'm doing pretty good by pretty much any metric. Now, I worked it out, and 2,500 videos in that amount of time is roughly one every 3 days, and that's pretty good, because if you want to do a video, you've got to spend a day coming up with an idea, a concept, a plan. I don't do storyboards, but you know, there's planning involved. Then you've got a day of shooting, get out there with your camera and get all the shots and everything, and finally you've got a day, sometimes more than a day, of editing, especially recently when I've been using some visual effects and color grades and things. So yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a full-time job. People who say, oh, you know, you're just a YouTuber, they underestimate the amount of work involved in doing all this. It's tremendously time intensive. And of course you get days when it's raining or the weather's bad, you can't do any filming. It all makes it complicated, but I love every minute of it. For the past 19 years, I have really enjoyed making YouTube videos. I intend to continue for as long as I can. And this month, January, I'm doing it virtually for free because there's virtually no advertising revenue. And I have to say, the amount of money you can earn from YouTube has fallen precipitously since I started on the partner program. When I first started, I was earning $4,000 or $5,000 a month. These days, I'm lucky to pull in $1,000 from all my work. That's just the way it goes. Now, as I said, I'm going to do a retrospective, but I'm not going to do the regular go back a year. I'm going back 14 years, maybe 13 or 14 years, because last night I was rummaging through my big drawer of removable or USB hard drives. You know, when I edit up a video and upload it to YouTube, I take all the files, stick them on a USB hard drive, put it in a drawer, so I've got that footage archived for posterity in case I want to pull snippets out later on, or if YouTube deletes me, I can upload it all to another site perhaps. Anyway, so I was going through the drawer of hard drives and I found one from 2010, 2011, which is about as far back as I go with those drives. And I thought, well, hey, let's take a look. Let's take a look back in time. Not just a year, but 13, 14 years. And this was an interesting time, certainly here in New Zealand, certainly at the Tokoroa Airfield, because it was before there were all these civil aviation rules and regulations, and it was before the local council got all snotty and decided they wanted to kill anyone having fun at the airfield. So I'm going to show you what it was like in the halcyon days of the hobby, and before regulations became so oppressive that, you know, so many people decided to hang up their drones, hang up their goggles, hang up their models, and take up stamp collecting. So let's take a look. I'm going to start with some footage of manned aviation, full-size aviation from the Tokoroa Airfield. Now, this was all filmed on an old tape-based SD camcorder, so it's not the best quality footage. I've had to work pretty hard to make it half reasonable. If you're watching it on a big screen TV, you'll probably go, oh, it's horrible. Anyway, but I'm going to show you 3 clips. Now, these 3 clips show people manned aviation having fun at the airfield in ways that are probably in violation of the regulations. I know the flight involving Ron, CAA investigated it and he got fined quite a large amount of money for flying in the manner he did. Of course, you know, no one was harmed, no pets were scared, no paint was scuffed, but it, you know, breach of the regulations, we've got to do something about it. So, and the other flights, one of them I've obscured the identity of the aircraft because I don't want that person getting into trouble. And the other craft, the pilot has since deceased, died of natural causes, so he can't get into trouble. So without getting anybody into any more trouble than they're already in, let's take a look at some of the manned aviation at the Tokoroa Airfield back in about 2010, 2011.
This is the new don't wear out both tyres at once, a tactic to landing on the runway. Here he comes again from the other end.
Who's giving
We'll go to the hanger-on. Could you tell that was Ron? I could. Some more full-size action at the flying field here.
You can tell I'm not flying because
Not just models, and Ron's not in this one. Here we go.
Oh look, an helicopter didn't fall out of the sea now.
There you go. You don't see that every day, do you?
Yeah, so it wasn't just the model, well, it wasn't model flights creating all the risks and all the violation of regulations. There was a fair bit of manned aviation doing the same thing. But while I think of it, just came into my head, see, I've got my winter shirt on. Now, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon as I make this video. It should be the hottest part of the day. And I've got a winter shirt on because here in New Zealand, the summer is still missing in action. We've had spring-like weather. It's like the other day, it was driving rain and wind, and then it was driving rain, and then it was wind. And it's like it's been cold. For example, I saw this Russian vlogger, and she was talking about Russia on New Year's Day. Listen to what she has to say.
So the streets are almost without people today because most of us relax after New Year parties. So, but the weather is incredible in Krasnodar, about 12 degrees Celsius.
There you go. It was 12 degrees in Russia on New Year's Day. Well, every morning that I've got up, I've had to have a heater on, and it's been like 8 degrees or 7 degrees. And Saturday or Sunday, the next forecasted flying day, 16 degrees is the high. 16 degrees is the high in midsummer in the South Pacific. What the hell's going on? That means I haven't had many opportunities to do much flying myself yet this summer. It's like, what? You saw me with my DLG. That was the one little window of calm and warm in a sea of wet and windy and cold. So I'm just crossing my fingers, hoping the weather improves. But anyway, that's enough of today. Let's get back to Tokoroa Airfield in 2010, 2011. Now, there was a lot of, as you saw, there's a lot of manned aircraft there. There's a lot of manned aviation going on, and there was a lot of model flying. It was the world's most widely recognized model flying club, thanks largely to my videos. Many thousands, well, tens of thousands of people from around the world would tune in to see what was happening at our model flying club at the airfield every week. And the interesting thing was, as I said, this is before rules and regulations, before CAA even decided that model aircraft and drones were worth regulating. So we were flying amongst all the manned aviation. You know, the planes would be coming and going, we'd be flying in between, and it was like there were no hardcore written rules, there was no written regulations, but there were no incidents, there was no one feared for their lives, there were no one got hurt, no paint got scuffed, no pets were frightened, because we, as we always have, had respect for the safety of ourselves and other people. So we'd be flying around, manned aviation would be flying around, perfectly fine, no problems at all. In fact, I'll show you some clips which show you exactly how that happened. When the plane comes along, we land. When the plane goes away, we take off. It was simple. We didn't need wings. We didn't need to have spotters. We didn't have all the regulations that didn't need to be members of a national model flying body. It was just people acting responsibly with toys at an airfield where other people were flying manned aircraft. What a shame we've lost that innocence. And now, unless you can prove otherwise, you're presumed to be a criminal who's just waiting to knock an aeroplane out of the sky with your drone or your model airplane. It's tragic. It's sad. I miss those innocent days. But hey, now as I say, we had a really popular club. There were lots of members in our club, and a lot of those members were women. In fact, at one stage, I think we had 45% of our membership were of the female persuasion, which was unheard of in a hobby where basically it's old men and geeks. So why did that happen? Well, it was down mainly, I think, due to the laid-back, informal atmosphere. As I say, no hardcore rules, nothing written down, nothing. No one standing there with a clipboard and no authoritarian figures telling you can't do that, you can't do this, you've got to stand there, you've got to do, part your hair in the middle. None of that stuff happened at all at our club, and it made for a very friendly, relaxed, family-type environment where everybody looked out for everyone else's safety. And so naturally, families flew, and people were attracted, and there was no, we've always been a very inclusive club. Nobody was biased against someone because of their gender or their whatever. So it attracted people from around the town, from around the country, and from around the world. We had visitors from all over the world. But let's take a look at some clips from that era. I want you to see what was going on. And, it's just nostalgic, just memories. And if you're newer to the channel, if you only joined in recent years, you probably didn't see these clips. You might want to go back and look through the archives on this channel. There is a lot of stuff like this. There's some faces, some characters which you haven't seen for a long time who were very active back in the day when it was all innocent and fun, before the council decided we can't have people enjoying public assets, and CAA decided we can't trust people to act responsibly, we must regulate them. So let's have a look at those fine old days of 2010, 2011 at the Tokoroa Airfield with the South Waikato Model Aero Club.
Here is the New Zealand International Quadcopter team representing the country in international events around the globe.
Quadcopter.
Tricopter. There's 3/4 of the quadcopter in there too. And there's a wide range of vehicles, a wide range of ugly faces as well. So there we go. This is the first ever multi-rotor fly-in event.
First of many.
It's the first of many to be held in New Zealand here at Tokoroa. Fire away.
Rolling.
Yep.
Here's Ken's girlfriend. She's decided to get in on the model flight.
Yes, he's trying it on the grass now. Oh, downwind, that's cheating, man.
Yeah.
Tack it back up. Barry, how should we get rid of it?
I don't know.
Oh, that's no bloody good. Neil.
Start off with fireworks
Fireworks.
and petrol.
That would be the pyre at the end, wouldn't it?
Pyrotechnics.
Yeah. The young lady, what do you suggest?
Set it on fire and then fly it into the ground.
Okay. Who else have we got here today? Ronald, your suggestion, please.
Well, the lipos, I think, and fuel.
Lipos
Or else give it to Barry to fly.
Here we go.
Is your stuff out of the way from Barry?
It's got that much bloody. It's got that much oil and fuel embedded in the bolt. It's strong smell.
That he's got in his hand. It doesn't look like an AXN floater should look like. Maybe he's just retrimmed it or something. It's the walk of shame. Oh dear. So tell me, Ron,
Yeah.
this new landing technique not so successful perhaps?
Yeah, well, I saw the hanger crane.
Now if you watched one of my earlier videos, you'll have seen that we've got a few female flyers in our club here at the South Waikato Model Aero Club, and here's another one in training. This is Sonia. She's buddy boxing here with Dad Richard on the AXN floater that isn't in a million pieces. It's actually up there. And Richard's teaching his daughter to fly now. That's great.
It's a lot shorter than what it used to be.
But the tail heavy to me. Oh.
All hold hands and stand in the circle.
Almost dancing.
So this is your new Wurlitzer. These guys are going to do a bit of fencing, got their foils out, a bit of dueling. Don't cross the beams, guys, don't cross the beams. Here's Duncan drinking glow fuel again. Duncan, I'll make you go blind, that stuff, man. Stop drinking all the fuel. I know it's smooth with that bloody German oil, but you know. Now, Mr. Bin Laden, they tell us that rumours of your death have been greatly exaggerated.
Very exaggerated.
I thought so. Hang on, that's you, isn't it, Neil? I recognise those feet. So we're just waiting for the NTSB to arrive to go through the wreckers. I'll probably take all these pieces back to a hangar somewhere and put them all together.
Hang on. The motor is actually embedded in the ground.
You found the black box, mate. Here we are back at the field. It's Sunday and Ron's still drinking coffee. This man, yeah, unbelievable coffee.
If I turn it over, it'd be right, actually.
Yeah. It's no wonder this man spends half his life behind a hangar. Right, and we've got a visitor here, come from Australia to see us. Who are we talking to?
You're talking to Kevin Bennett.
G'day, Kevin. What brings you over here then?
You guys.
Can be going on over here. Look, all these people huddled on the ground. There must be something really exciting happening here. Let's go and have a look at whatever's going on. Is Ron stuck in there? There's many.
Don't wiggle it. Keep it straight. Down. Bruce, I'll kill you.
What are you trying to say?
You're videoing me.
As if
Yeah.
I'm only videoing your hat.
Do it like that.
He's a handicapped man watching porn. That's what he says.
My name's Bruce.
He wishes. It's really Lance. And he's wired for sound.
Oh, you're shit jealous, bro.
Using my receiver on a pole idea.
Where are you standing, Bruce?
I better get out of the way. He's probably going to hit me. Hello, ex-chit gen... Oh, that's the wrong thing, isn't it? Hello, ex-chit... Yeah, g'day, you bastards. Hello there, and here it is, the flying trainer. So that's it. That's my retrospective. So now it's time to look forward. What's going to happen in 2025? Well, I should tell you. Now, that little segment I did at the beginning of this video with me walking through a car park and being filmed by the DJI Neo, and if you want to see how I worked on that footage to make it look better than you usually get out of the Neo camera, I'm going to be doing a video on that. So if you've got a Neo and you want to know how did you do that, shallow depth of field, how did all that work? Well, fantastic. Now, subscribe and I'll put that video up in the next couple of days, how to make your Neo footage look as good as that. Anyway, the fact that I flew that Neo as I was walking across the South Waikato District Council car park means I was in breach of section 207, I think it is, of the Civil Aviation Regulations for Drones in New Zealand. So it's CAR 101.207. I breached the rules to get that footage. How did I do that? Well, I was flying my Neo drone over property without the permission of the property owner. The South Waikato District Council would never have given me permission, so I didn't ask. I just did it. Now, was anyone harmed? Was any property damaged? No, it wasn't. Was the risk high enough to merit being regulated? No, it wasn't. So one of my goals for this year is to deal to the ridiculous levels of overregulation that have, won't say destroyed, but has severely handicapped this hobby. As you saw from the archive footage, people can have fun safely without regulation to the extent we have now. And we really do need to start winding back some of these rules. You can understand that when drones came out, regulators were a little bit afraid, ooh, we're not too sure about these, we better over-regulate to be super safe, err on the side of safety. So they did it. 2015, the Civil Aviation in New Zealand put out a set of rules basically on the premise that these drones are incredibly dangerous, you must regulate them to the nth degree so that no one gets hurt. Now, 10 years later, it's time to look at the facts and say, well, no one has been hurt. You know, these things are super safe now. They're safer now than they ever have been. Maybe we can wind back things a little bit. That's my goal, to make that happen here in New Zealand. Now, the Civil Aviation Ministry of Transport did a consultation in 2019. They put out a consultation paper and lots of people responded about how should we change the rules, what's good, what's bad. That was 2019 and nothing has been done as a result of that consultation paper. What worries me the most is that Civil Aviation will come out, or the Ministry of Transport will come out and create a whole new set of rules based on the feedback from a consultation that will be 6 years old. So we'll have gone from rules that are 10 years out of date to rules that are 6 years out of date. It's not good enough. Things have to change. I'm going to be working very hard to try and pressure the
regulator into making some sensible decisions regarding rules. And there may be a crossing of swords here. You know me, I'm not afraid to mess it up with bureaucrats. I will certainly be doing my best to do that. But that's where I'm going now. It's my job, my full-time job, paid for by you people who watch the ads and my Patreon supporters and people who are channel members. My full-time job, funded by you guys, is to promote, protect and support the hobby. I take it very seriously. I spend a lot of my time addressing just those particular issues and taking on those tasks. And I'll be doing it even more in the years that come, especially 2025, because, you know, I'm battling a lot of demons. I've got the Parkinson's, which is why I'm doing so much exercise. People say, oh, you're looking like a machine. Yeah, I have to. If I don't exercise, I go to hell in a handbasket. I'm like a jelly in an earthquake. So exercise is really important to me. And for that reason, I know a lot of people have said, we want, you know, we'd like to look like you, we'd like to do exercises. So on my Bruce Simpson channel, separate channel, which is my personal channel, it's got very little on it. I'm in the next week or two going to be starting some videos. Just if you want to look, if you want to be as, you know, more robust, stronger, fitter, and better able to deal with aging as it creeps up on you, then have a look at the videos I'm putting out there. I'll be trying to share my experiences. I'm not a fitness coach. I'm not qualified in any way, but I've know the things that have worked for me, maybe they'll work for you. So I'm trying to set a target of 10 minutes a day, 3 times a week. Should be enough to get you healthier, fitter, stronger than you've ever been in your life, just like I am now. So if you're interested in that, go over. I'll put a link in the description. Subscribe, join up, and maybe you will benefit from that. That's one of my 2025 goals. Anyway, that's it. I've waffled on for way too long. And when the weather improves, I will be doing as many flying videos as I can. So thank you again for watching the video. Thank you for all your support. I'm looking forward to providing as much content as I can for 2025. Let's make the hobby bigger, better, and shinier than it has ever been. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.
Overregulation is like a tumor. It's killing our hobby. It must be terminated. Now!